Okay, I'm going to give you a quick rundown on what I carry in my bags on my e-bike, because I do go long distance on it, and I would sure hate to be 7 miles from the house and have a mechanical breakdown and leave me on the side of the road or pushing it home. So, first off, uh, I got a set of metric Allen wrenches, and they go 1.5 millimeter all the way up to, what is that, 8 millimeter, I believe it is. Yeah, it's 8 millimeter. And you will find that there is at least one bolt on that bike that will be 8 millimeter, and that's the crank. And then all the way down at the 1.5, haven't found anything for 1.5 millimeter, but the 2 millimeter will fit the Allen bolt that takes out the lock rod that holds your brake shoes in. So, metric Allen wrenches. I've had to use them a few times while I was miles and miles away from home. Don't leave home without them. Bicycle pump. This is just a little bitty mini one. It works great. I got it due to its size. And in order to get 45 pounds of pressure in the tire, yeah, you will be pumping on it for a few minutes. But this particular pump is, there's your brand on it. Oop. Okay, well, it's backwards, but it's GIYO. Got it on Amazon, and in order to lock it on, you don't push this down, you pull this up. After you shove it on the valve stem, you pull up on that, and it locks it on. It's got a little tire pressure gauge there, but kind of hard to read. Tire pressure gauge. Of course, you know why, because 45 to 65 pounds of pressure is what that bicycle requires. 19 millimeter open end box stand wrench. Everything on that bike is Allen or Phillips head except for your rear wheel. And the 19 millimeter is what fits the hub nuts, and you will need that. You don't want to use one of those adjustable thumb wrenches because you will not be able to get the nut off of your side that has your gears on it. You're just not going to get an adjustable wrench in there. You need to have a box stand wrench, and you have to unplug the wire from the rear drive motor and run this up on that wire to get up in there. Very handy. I got a tire patching kit. This one here I put together myself. It's got a couple of band-aids in there too, but I've got 4 tire patches of different sizes, and of course my glue, and it's got a little bitty fingernail file knife thing, little cheap thing in there that I put in there because it works good to scrape a tube instead of the actual metal scraper. It works better to rough up a tube in order to patch a tire. Phillips screwdriver. If you mess up and get grass in your your rear gear, I can't remember what it's called, and it puts it out of adjustment, once you remove the grass, you're going to need this to adjust it back into straight, being straight. And these came with the tire pump, and they are for helping pry the tire open on the rim to take the tube out to swap the tube. Which leads me to the next thing, spare tube. I always carry a spare tube with me. The last flat I got, I looked for, and I had it here at the house. I looked and looked and looked after I put a bunch of air in that tire, or in that tube, and I absolutely could not find the pinhole leak in it. You don't always have access to dunk a tube underwater in order to find a little tiny pinhole leak. So, spare tube. Okay. Valve core tool. And it's got 2 different sizes on it. I only needed the small one. But if you air up a tube and you find the leak, you're going to be sitting there with a sharp object or whatever trying to let the air out of it. It's easier just to pull the core out of it. Yeah. And then, of course, I've got this Craftsman assisted knife, and it does lock closed. So if you don't pull this down, you cannot open that knife. Okay, so this knife, if you carry it in your pocket or whatever, it's not going to pop open. You have to pull physically down on that to unlock it, pop it open. But I always carry that knife in my toolkit as well. Anyway, with this stuff that I've mentioned here, there's almost nothing that I can't deal with on my bike. Even if I get a big gash in my tire and the tube's popping out, I could use one of these big patches, rough up the inside of the tire, and glue a patch to the inside of the tire, and then replace my tube and get moving down the road again until I can get a replacement tire. So anyway, I hope this helps somebody out that's going to get into this bicycle commuting like I do. Because if I got to go grocery shopping, I take my bicycle. I'll throw a backpack on. I might come back with 45 pounds in my backpack and another 30 pounds of stuff in my saddlebags on my bike. But hey, I mean, I haven't paid for gas in a car since, oh wow, since Christmas? No, before Christmas. I think it was October, late October. I have not put gas in a vehicle since October, and I'm just trying to keep bills down to a minimum, so it's definitely bicycle to town for me, or well, my electric assist bicycle. Well, we'll see y'all later.